It's wonderful that the media are getting involved because the march has been happening since 2013, which is 2 years ago. It's 2015 now, and media coverage hasn't been that great.
I cut off your hair
But
a little.
hopefully that's about to change. Hopefully that is changing. Hopefully that will change. So thank you, Radio Kingfisher, for taking a stand and for promoting the truth. Respect to you.
It is the weekend breakfast indeed, and you're locked onto Kingfisher FM. As we cruise along the last hour of the show, we speak to Rushka Johnson. Rushka, good morning and welcome to Kingfisher FM.
Good morning, thanks for having me.
It's always a pleasure having you. Now Rushka, there's a march taking place across the world regarding the Monsanto.
Yes.
Alright, you're going to just fill us in more. It's happening in Port Elizabeth next week.
Yes.
Tell us, what is the march all about?
Okay, it's a global call to action. So the March Against Monsanto happens around the world, all on the same day, to create awareness about the march that we're happening in Port Elizabeth. Let me tell you about that first.
Okay.
It's happening next week, which is the 23rd. It's on Saturday at the King's Beach Promenade at 10 o'clock. And what we are doing is we're trying to create awareness in the world about the problem that we're having with genetically modified seeds and the chemicals that are being sold hand in hand with the genetically modified seeds. So Monsanto is a chemical company who own 90% of the market in genetically modified seeds, and they have patented seeds and plants to be resistant to their own chemical that they've created, their own herbicide. So they originated as a chemical company. They I don't know if you've all heard of Agent Orange in the Vietnam War, and DDT and aspartame and products like that have Monsanto's name on them. And the chemical that they have created, the herbicide that they've created, goes hand in hand with the genetically modified seeds that they've made. There have been lots of studies done around the world on the effects that these plants have on humans and the environment, and that the chemicals have. So we want to create awareness. The march has been happening since 2013, so this is the third year that it's been happening. There are millions of people around the world who march, and creating awareness is actually the idea. That is why we're marching. So we want to share with people and let them know the problem that the world is facing now, in the food crisis that we are having with regards to the genetically modified seeds and the toxic chemicals that are going hand in hand with it.
And of course it has some sort of effect to the humans when we consume it.
Yes, of course. The studies that have been done, the most recent study was done by the World Health Organization, calling their Roundup, which is the herbicide that they use, a carcinogen. So that, along with lots of other studies that have been done around the world and are currently being done and have been done, relating it to autism, Alzheimer's, tumors, it's absolutely awful. And in several countries, it's actually been banned.
Okay.
So for example, in the Netherlands, they've just banned Roundup. And Sri Lanka, they're in the process of doing it. In Brazil, they're banning it. So and that's just to name a few. So
and tell me, who started off this whole entire march?
It was actually started by a lady, a mommy.
Okay.
Her name's Tammy.
All right.
She's in America, and she started the march, and it went viral in 2 years. There are millions of people who march. So the awareness that's been created is great, but we need to, it needs to be more, because the products or the plants, they're detrimental to the environment and to humans. For example, especially in our beautiful South Africa, what they've done is, besides genetically modifying the food, so they're changing the gene structure of the plant without testing it properly. You need to test things over a few generations. They need to be tested properly. They released it to the public.
Okay.
So in actual fact, the public were almost like lab rats because there were no tests done. So this on its own made the public very wary and actually freak out, because they're releasing something where the gene structure has been changed without testing it into the public. So without labeling it. There have been lots of wars or battles that have been fought to try and get them to actually label their products, because you're eating them, yet you don't know that you're eating them. So a lot of battles have been to try and get just at least labeling on the food, so that you know what you're eating and you have a choice. So that also has been a big problem. So the battle is to try and get the stuff to be labeled so that we have a choice, and to also not release things until they've been tested, because there have been scientists who are outside of Monsanto, scientists from around the world who've taken it upon themselves to actually test the stuff, and they've come up with detrimental results, and they've released them, and so the public realize, and they see these studies, and they see, and they're peer reviewed, and they are brilliant scientists who are very well known and have good credits and so on. So, yet the stuff continues to be sold and not labeled. And when I'm talking about genetically modified foods that Monsanto create, because they own 90%, that's why we're talking about them. There are other companies who also make them, but the percentage is very small, so the focus is on Monsanto because they own most of the market. But the food is not all the food that we eat is genetically modified. There are only certain things that they have released so far that is genetically modified. One of them is corn, canola, cottonseed, soya, and sugar beet. Those are the main ones that have been released. Over 80%, probably 90% of the corn in America is genetically modified, and the soya. The numbers are vast if you think about how big those farms are. And in South Africa, which is just awful, over 85%, maybe 90%, maybe even more of our corn in South Africa is genetically modified and sprayed with these chemicals that cause things like I said, autism, Alzheimer's, tumors, cancer, and it's our staple diet. So, and people don't know, because our staple diet's millipap. We're the only country in the world that our staple diet is genetically modified, and people don't know, and they don't have a choice, because it's not.
All right, we're talking to Rushka Johnson about the March Against Monsanto. We're going to talk to her after a small break, and we're going to find out what is her role in the march right here in Port Elizabeth that's taking place on the 23rd of May at King's Beach.
Do we need to talk slower or just stop? Wait, was I talking too fast?
No, I was saying to stop to run a break. We have to break it.
I can talk forever.
Mom,
Yeah.
should I stop filming?
Normally what happens is we interview mustn't go more than 5 minutes. And we went about 7 minutes. So I'll break it, play a song, and we come back.
Thank you,
and
because there's still
we
more
talk.
to say.
Yeah.
Don't you love him? Are you filming me? Can you see me too, Joe?
Yeah.
Don't you love him? Jason. Coolest guy
Alright,
ever.
so exciting. So we'll talk about your role in it, and again what's happening. And
I hope I made it clear now. There was so much to say.
it was clear.
Was it?
Yeah. The whole key thing is why you're marching, who is Monsanto, and how you're uniting as a nation, as humans. We're uniting to say this is not acceptable. It is detrimental to the human life, human body, and join us, as we partake into this march.
I hope it was clear.
So yeah.
It's cool,
There we have it. 23 minutes after 8 o'clock, you're locked onto Kingfisher FM. We're talking to Rushka Johnson this morning. It's regarding a march that's taking place on the 23rd of May in Port Elizabeth in King's Beach. and it's a March Against Monsanto.
Yes, Monsanto.
Trying to get that name right. All right. So, Rushka, tell us, what is your role in this march in Port Elizabeth?
Okay, I'm the convener for the march. What happens is it's very organised. I go to the city council, I get permission to do the march, I speak to the SAPS, the traffic department, the municipal officers, everything. I have all the paperwork. In fact, when I went to the city council and told them why we were marching, their hearts were broken, their hearts were bleeding for the cause, because they realized how important it was. They were so excited that the support that we have from them is fantastic.
Great.
Because they're behind us. So it's very structured and organized, and what we're going to be doing at this march, when you hear the word march or protest, you think mohawks and burn stuff down. But it's not a march like that. It's a wholesome, family friendly march, because the people that this affects is our community and our families and our homes, and those are the people that matter, everyone matters, but those are the people we are reaching, and those are the people that are coming. So it's a family affair, and we're going to be focusing on the solutions of the problem, Monsanto, because there's no point in having a big, dangerous problem and no solution.
For sure.
So the first half is going to be talking on who Monsanto is, what genetically modified food is, what the chemicals are that they're using, the myths and the truths of GMO, and then the second half, we're going to have talks on permaculture, and organic footprints are coming to do a talk, and guerrilla gardening and seed freedom movement, and the things that you can do to actually solve this problem, because we can solve it. It can be solved.
For sure.
And creating awareness is the first step, because public pressure does work. As we can see, their profits have dropped by 31% in the last 2 years just because of the marches. So it works. So creating awareness, the videos and the photos, they go viral, and the people that are talking are fantastic. Like, we've got permaculture guru coming to talk, and we've got Ryan, who's a guerrilla gardener, who's going to talk. If you don't know what guerrilla gardening is, you must come. It sounds wild, but it's just exciting. We do it with the kids. It's just so wonderful. And we're going to have local musicians that are going to be singing. We've got a kid activist. I don't know, you probably have seen her video. She's happens to be my daughter. She's 11.
Okay.
She's an activist, and she's the one who went up at South-West Africa at the finals when they were having an impromptu, and she went and she spoke about Monsanto, and her video got so many hits on YouTube so quickly. So she's going to be there. She's going to be talking about Monsanto. The teenagers are coming. They're talking about their role and how it matters to them and why teenagers should care. So we've got children, we've got teens, we've got people from all different walks of life who are going to be telling you what this problem is and what we can do to solve it. So bring your blankets, and you can bring a picnic, and we're going to have Fresh, which is a local fruit homemade juice company that's just opened. They're going to be there selling their fresh organic juices, and we're going to have, with Organic Footprints, for those of you who do or don't know, their online organic store that sources farmers. I happen to be one of them because I have an organic farm. So they source organic farmers products, and then they have this beautiful website, and you just order online and they deliver to you. So they're going to be there, and some of the farmers' products are going to be there for you to look at and see what we can. Jason, thanks for having me.
You off?
You know what? Thanks for taking a stand, and thanks for caring about the environment. And
Great stuff, man. I support you.
you are respected.
I definitely support where I can.
Thank you.
And,
It means a lot. I'm going to have a selfie with Jason. By the way, Jason's show won the best show on Radio Kingfisher. And thank you, Radio Kingfisher. Thank you, Jason, for taking a stand.
taking a selfie as well.
And for taking a selfie.
All right.